All right, first question. What advantages are there to living in the private? Um, I'm going to respond with a quote from President Kennedy. Don't ask what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. And I say that in humor because a lot of times we're we're thinking, what are the advantages? And to me, it's more like obedience. We're called to come out of a structural system, and there's only one where every single registered organization is falling under the SEC in Washington, D.C., where the military industrial complex is being utilized to work with the world order to do a new financial scam called the Great Reset, known as the New World Order again. So when you're talking about what are the examples of living in the private, and I'm going to give them to you, just hold tight. Um, it's obedience. There you go. Um, we're not called to be anything other than under God directly. And I know that there are a ton of Christians that will pull the Bible out and Romans 13 out and 2 Peter 2:13 and try to rip that apart. And I would absolutely crush them. I would absolutely crush them. So aside from biblical, aside from morality, where your funds are going, there's I think the number one benefit is you just get left alone, the freedom to operate, the freedom to not have to file the returns, the freedom to not have to pay into a structural system that's demonic. Just some of the examples. I'm not going to tell you, Valerie, that it's easy, because to undo all the elements of what you had to do to get where you are is the biggest pain in the butt in the world. And I will 100% agree with you on that regard. But the element of you being free, you can't make anything, there's nothing more valuable than that. To have a spiritual freedom is one thing, and most believers do. To have a physical true freedom that they can't take from you, nothing matches that. Nothing. That's the biggest benefit there is. Yeah, I still have all the debit cards. I can't use credit. I will not use credit. I will not use the social. I can't open up some accounts. I don't have personal accounts. I don't have any debt. I don't have any debt obligations. I wake up with a clear mind every day, other than worrying about you guys. And that's it. There is 100% total freedom. They will not bother you. They will leave you alone 100%. If you're out, they have no jurisdiction over you whatsoever. So it's just the setup. It's just the undoing and the setup. Takes a little bit of time. And once you're done, it's like, my first time I had to figure out how to open up the bank account for HISAdvocates 10 years ago tomorrow. You know what I mean? Bank of America. I spent 4 hours going through their screens with them, befriending them. They ended up turning their screen towards me. Well, what did we put here? What did we put here? What did we put here? It's those types of things that are abnormal, a pain in the butt, but now I have 6 accounts with Bank of America and other banks, all private, not one personal. And so there are the nuances that you got to learn, the nuances of freedom, the nuances of how to not give away your freedom on a contract with a state or federal agency or a bank. And how do you reserve your rights on anything? And that's really what we do and what we teach. But there's so many, you can't, all I have to do is say obedience. And as a believer, that should be enough. But the benefits, the rights, and it's not like a benefit. It's a God-given unalienable right. And all you got to do is take it. And, it's unreal to be directly under God. I mean, it's real, but it's an amazing accomplishment and thing that we all get to do here in this nation, and other nations are fighting for what we have. They're fighting for, this guy in China is listening right now. He's fighting for freedom from the CCP. We are about to face that. And you would much rather be on this side where they can't declare subject matter jurisdiction on a warrant or on an indictment or over your land. And that's what we do. And so that's the big benefit, if you will, but we call it an unalienable, God-given, unalienable, not inalienable. There's no such word on the Declaration of Independence, inalienable, unalienable right.